Embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Welcome back, and I hope things are going okay for you. Hope that you're well and healthy and strong, and maybe getting out to see a little bit of music every now and then. There's obviously a lot going on at the moment. I'm doing okay. Obviously, I had COVID last time we spoke, and I managed to shake that off okay. I've just been away on a music camp for a couple of weeks, and that's given me a bit of a cold, so if you can hear a little bit of a croak here, then that's why. But other than that, I'm sort of doing fine. We've had a couple of gigs this month. First of all, we were back at Parliament House for our second gig there, and that all went well. It's always nice to go back to a venue you've played at before, and so you sort of know your way in, know a few of the staff, and what to expect. So yeah, we had a nice job playing there for the conference for all of the parliamentary staff there. And then later in the month, we had a job at the RACV Club, which is a little bit of a rare one for us. Because it was more of a public kind of performance gig rather than a background music kind of job. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy in me. So those two gigs were the first ones that I've sort of moved the trio more into this new model that I spoke about a little bit last time, where it's a little bit more vocally based and a little bit more arranged than it was before. So I've got the new trio books on the go, and adding to them each time we do a gig, rather than just always rely on our shared repertoire. And that allows us to do a few more sort of organised arrangements, a lot more vocal tunes, a lot more tunes that you might not be able to necessarily do from memory. So that's been fun to explore some of that sort of stuff. And then at the RACV Club, there was the additional element of listening sort of interactive audience. It's quite an intimate little wine bar, like a small little space. And the people who came along were people who had booked because they saw the music was on and they were into that sort of music, obviously. That was great for us to have those people there, and lots of nice requests and lots of nice chats with people and so on. So we're hoping to get back there again, hopefully sooner rather than later. You and you alone bring out the gypsy in me. So this kind of new trio model is partly based around the idea that I'm going to do a fair bit of singing. Joni's obviously been singing as well, and I've got other singers that we sometimes use who play instruments and sing, but I'm sort of wanting to do a fair bit of it myself, partly because I'm always there and because I can write my own arrangements, and because it's something that I've always kind of felt as if I should get around to maybe getting better at. I enjoy singing, but as a bass player, you can get used to not doing it. I sort of want to stop letting myself off the hook to that extent. So I've been putting in quite a lot of work. Playing bass, double bass, where you don't have any frets, it requires you to think quite a lot about your tuning. And even playing it on its own and trying to play it in tune, it's challenging. It requires a fair bit of mental work and physical work to make that happen. And then obviously singing in tune is another thing that's not easy to do. And trying to do the two things at the same time, it's very easy to suddenly start thinking about the tuning on your bass and find that your voice is sort of wandering around, or vice versa. So for me, I do feel as if it's possible. I feel as if I'm better at it than I was a month ago, and perhaps down the track I will reach a point where I can really say that I've got it to where I want it to be. At the moment I feel as if on the really familiar songs I can put in a performance that I'm pretty close to happy with. And when I say familiar, it means familiar in singing and playing bass at the same time. There's lots of songs that I know and I could sing you. If I was just singing, I could sing quite happily. But if I try and sing and play bass at the same time, it just requires that much more preparation. I need to really know what my hands are doing on the bass, and I really need to know what my voice is doing. I need to have made all those judgments in advance about how I'm going to approach the notes, how my bass lines are going to work with my vocal lines and so on. I'm hoping that over the next few months, as I keep sort of releasing music videos, you'll start to see a few of my vocal videos pop up. I was just editing one yesterday from a few months ago now. It's a start, you know, and it's worked okay. I'm hoping that perhaps you'll be able to hear me getting better as I do more of it, because that's really the key. If you sing all the time and perform all the time, because performing and practice are two different things, I can get to a point where I can have a listen back to a recording and I can say, yeah, that kind of worked okay. It's very easy to be critical of yourself when you're singing, by the way. That's what I've been working on, developing, performing a bit, and where I'm hoping to sort of take that thing into the future.
I love all the many charms about you.
The RACV gig, I feel like, was a really good proof of concept for what I was talking about last month, about the new kind of vocally based, kind of more interactive trio kind of product, I guess you could say. Obviously, there's going to be lots of gigs where we stand in the corner and play background music, and like I've said in other videos, that's fantastic. I'm happy doing that. But I do feel as if there are some gigs where you can step forward just a little bit and engage a bit more with the audience if you are making the effort to do that. And that even on background music gigs, that effort is really worthwhile and really appreciated by the people who experience it. And certainly on gigs like the RACV gig, where it is quite explicitly, I guess, a listening gig, more or less, and people are there to see you, then you've got to be able to bring the goods. You've got to be able to entertain those people. And I think what we did a couple of Wednesday nights ago worked really well. Like, it came together really nicely, and I think everybody there really had a good time. So I believe we're on the right track. We're working hard, and it's kind of exciting to have a kind of a new venture within the Mood Merchants kind of stable of stuff that we do. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you again next month.
Be a naughty baby. Come to Papa do. My sweet embraceable. You